Hello and welcome. My name is Kate Marand. This is a short information session about how to express interest in the CBE Green Equitable Back Office Services. This is about accounting, legal, and proposal development support for CBEs that are small, resident-owned, or disadvantaged if you have any one of the three subcategories, and if you are pursuing contracts with the DC Sustainable Energy Utility. We're really excited about this project. This is the first year that we've been able to offer this. This is our third year in working with the DC Sustainable Energy Utility. I'm going to tell you more about it, but we've just opened the expression of interest forms just now. So today we're going to do an overview of what is CBE Green. We're going to do a brief overview of the services. We're going to do an eligibility deep dive on the expression of interest form, and we're going to talk about two additional information sessions that are coming up from two of the three service providers, and then we'll have a chance to ask questions. If you have joined us in the chat, we have released a link to the expression of interest form, so you can start looking at that now. That also went out to every registrant for this session. We'll continue to put out in different ways, but if you want to find it in your email, that should have come from Eventbrite, or it might have come from inno.ed@dc.gov. That was released at noon. So let me just tell you who I am, who's talking to you today. My name is Kate Marand. I'm a program manager at the Department of Small and Local Business Development, and I'm the program manager for the Innovation and Equitable Development Division. If you are a CBE and you've been working with DSLBD for a long time, we might have not had an opportunity to meet previously. My team is very excited to be coming in on some additional CBE support for this exciting initiative around CBE Green. But hopefully, if you are a CBE, you have already worked closely with the Certification Division, the Business Opportunities Division, and the DC Procurement Technical Assistance Center, who we'll talk more about as they're playing an integral role in this project. If you do want to reach out to me or any member of my team for some of the programs that we have, that email address is inno.ed@dc.gov. It's missing a period right there, but it should be dc.gov. My team runs programs like the Aspire program, the Made in DC certification program, Dream Pitch, District Capitalize, the Business Toolkit, the Kiva Hub, and other initiatives, all aimed at removing barriers to entrepreneurship. So let's just talk a little bit about CBE Green, what it is and how it works. So you might have seen earlier this year in June that we competed the CBE Green Grants, and those grants were to provide the services that we're going to talk about today. So in June 2022, certified business enterprises were eligible to compete for the CBE Green Grants so that they could provide direct support to small resident-owned and disadvantaged CBEs pursuing the DCSEU contracts. There were 3 that were awarded, and they will be able to provide services from August to September 2022. This grant was funded by the Department of Energy and the Environment. We do not know, but we are hopeful that we may be able to provide the similar things in future years. We are in year 3 of a 5-year required MOU with the Department of Energy and the Environment around this work. And so for expressions of interest that people will be having, it's going to require that CBEs have those designations, one of the 3, small, resident-owned, and disadvantaged. And it's also going to require that people be DC Procurement Technical Assistance Center clients. The DC PTAC has been doing a lot of additional support for CBE Green. They have gotten close relationships with the DC Sustainable Energy Utility. They understand what a lot of the open RFPs are, and they held a rally in May, an industry rally, which hopefully many of you were able to participate in, being able to go through some of those opportunities in more detail. They also do a lot of additional assistance for anyone who is pursuing procurement at the state, federal, and local level, and they can help you out in a lot of different ways. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3 services, and we'll come back to that some. We have space for 102 CBEs to receive one of these services. And so we have an accounting service by CFO Services Group. They're a local CBE accounting firm, and they're going to offer 6 weeks of strategic accounting and bookkeeping support. That will include classes, that will include helping to set up QuickBooks, making sure that you are looking at the strategic growth of your business and how you are managing the money in your business as you are pursuing and adding on contracts. They will do an additional information session, and I'll share more about that, but they'll do an additional information session tomorrow at 5 p.m. That is also available for registration on Eventbrite. That is also something that will be recorded if you want to get a little bit more of a sense of what that service will look like. Another service that will be offered, and this will probably be for businesses that are very close in on pursuing a contract, will be 2 months of one-on-one legal support from a local CBE law firm, Energy and Transport Services. They have, I'm going to get the number wrong, they have over 40 years, they have well over 40 years of experience across several different areas, including contracts, including tax, and including regulatory compliance. And so they're going to work CBEs through a process of understanding a sample contract that they might have with DCSEU. They're in contact with DCSEU right now, looking at everything that they need to have to be in general compliance, both at the federal and the local level, and then thinking about what are the implementations that, or I'm sorry, what are the things that they need to have in place to make sure not only do you get the contract, but that you're able to keep the contract. And then the last one is going to be coming from a local CBE professional services and proposal management firm, Global Insight. They will be able to do one-on-one assessment, training, and support for 35 CBEs on proposal development and then proposal management. Once you have been awarded that contract, how do you put a full plan in place? Those are the three services. We'll come back a little bit in questions, but as you are looking at these three different services, if some of these are of interest as you're thinking generally, but also if you're looking at getting into green contracting, these are the services that will be available. So let's talk a little bit about Procure Green and what is this contracting opportunity that you might be looking at. So you might want to go to DCSEU.com if you never have before. DCSEU is a large prime contractor here in the district, and they have a large prime contract with the Department of Energy and the Environment. They have set up on their page under contracting opportunities some open RFPs that are always open. This is what DC PTAC went through in the rally in May. And so if you look at the screen here, you'll see it says additional documents and has several attachments. Each one of those attachments are different scopes of work. And within that, these are always open, so they don't close. So if you meet the qualifications and you want to come in, that's when you can work with DCSEU to come in. A few different pieces about this. This is all related to building energy sustainability and maintenance. And so I'll talk a little bit about the efforts that are going on across the district that is making these contracting opportunities possible. But first, we want you to see the opportunities. We want you to see where they are. If you are looking at some of these and trying to figure out where you might fit in, we highly recommend talking to your DC PTAC counselor and thinking about what is on your capability statement, what your company is able to do as you look at some of these attachments. Within that, much of this is sort of towards the HVAC and construction fields, but DC PTAC did assess back in May that there are a lot of opportunities for other types of services as well. And so if you are not in construction and if you are not in some of those fields, if you are in training, if you are in assessment, there may be a number of opportunities for you as well. So within that, if you are not a DC PTAC client, we will send out more information. We would have sent out information to CBEs that qualify who are not PTAC clients yesterday, encouraging you to become a PTAC client. The PTAC is one of the federal centers that is funded by the Department of Defense. They're all across the country, and the DC PTAC focuses on DC companies. And so again, they help at the state, federal, and local level, but they can help you from the beginning in strengthening the posture of your business to make sure that you have thought not only about have you developed your materials and your capability statement well, but what else might you need to add to your capability statement. They can help you look at individual specific RFPs that you're looking at and thinking about how to position yourself to apply. They have a number of trainings that are happening every year, and they have a number of really good counselors. You would be assigned a one-on-one individual counselor if you are working with the DC PTAC. And if you're looking at some of these RFPs and you're saying these look really interesting, but there are required certifications that I do not have, the DC Sustainable Energy Utility has training every year in order to help DC residents and staff of CBEs skill up into the specific trainings and certifications that are necessary to do the work on the RFPs. And what's really great about these training opportunities, they're in career pathways, they are free, and these are expensive certifications for many of them. And so you and your staff are able to get these additional credentialing and certifications for free, which will not only help you on the contracts with DCSEU, but as we look at what's happening across the district and across the country, it will help you be better positioned to be able to go after a lot of contracts once you are including some of those different certifications. And so we've been doing videos throughout the year. If you do want to see video and learn a little bit more about some of these things, we'll make sure to share this slide deck, and there's other information on our website to find these. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about both what's first happening at DOEE and then it sort of backs it right back into what's happening at DCSEU. So in 2018, the District of Columbia passed the Climate Omnibus Act, and that required a lot in the district. The District of Columbia is a leader in green energy, sustainability, and efficiency. And the Climate Omnibus Act also required that one of the greatest producers of carbon and greenhouse gases in the district, namely buildings, come into greater compliance. And so what's happening is there is benchmarking that is occurring of all buildings that are over 50,000 square feet. That will soon also be for buildings over 25,000 square feet. And so they need contractors who can benchmark a building and say, what is its energy performance and efficiency? And then once that's happened, there's then required changes that need to happen into those buildings so that they come into better alignment and that they are producing less greenhouse gases and they are more energy efficient. So the entire building stock of the District of Columbia over time is becoming more energy efficient, and it's being led by the work of the DCSEU, Department of Energy and the Environment, and the CBEs that are participating in these contracts. So if you want to see more about the underlying law, we have 2 different videos that are talking about the underlying law that was produced by the Department of Energy and the Environment. And then we have the video there that will go deeper into what Train Green really is. So you can start to think about, how do I train my staff? How do I train myself? How do I make that an opportunity so that I can get into more and more contracts? I'm going to jump now into the expression of interest form, since this is a short information session. We're going to get this short information session out, but we will continue to do information sessions and will continue to be available by email, getting people connected to what everything is here. But I'm just going to go straight into the expression of interest form since it's open, so that you can see what it looks like to express interest in those 3 services. And you would be expressing interest in those 3 services. That is not the right link, so I'm going to go to a different link. All right, so we're going to go to this link here for the survey system. If you are interested in pursuing these contracts, this is when you would want to go and look at this survey and express interest in getting into these services. So this is in a survey form. So it's actually 15 questions, though it says 10 at the top. And first, it just has some instructions. These are very similar instructions to what you would have seen on the Eventbrite. These are similar instructions to what we sent out in an email to all eligible CBEs.
Hi, Kate. At least at my end, and maybe another person's end, we can't see anything. It's a white screen.
It's not sharing. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
I'm going to reshare it.
We can see it now.
And can you see this page?
We can see the Canva page. Yep.
Well, no, we're not on the Canva page anymore. Can you
Okay, now we can see the Alchemist page now.
Perfect. So, and Camille, I don't know if you're able to repost the link in from Alchemer if people want to follow along. If not, I'll pull it and send it again.
Will do.
Okay. Thank you so much. So this is the expression of interest form. It is 15 questions. There is some description here. And once again, this is the same description that you would have seen in the Eventbrite and the same description that we would have shared in the emails that we sent to all eligible CBEs. And so there's a little bit of description of the 3 projects and who the individuals are who are providing the projects, who the firms are. Information about the fact that we are opening it today at noon, so it just opened. We will close this expression of interest application after we have spots filled for each of the projects. So if you are interested, we do suggest contacting your PTAC counselor and expressing interest now. Some of these services are going to start very soon. So for the accounting services, those will be starting in mid-August. For the proposal services, those will be filling up also in mid-August. And then for the legal support, the sooner you get into that, the more time that you will have available for their support. So a few things that you'll need to check and prepare for filling out the expression of interest form. We're going to ask you to check your CBE status and make sure that you are small, disadvantaged, or resident owned. And we're going to ask you to make sure that you have your most up-to-date CBE number. If you meet all 3 of those sub-designations, small, resident owned, and disadvantaged, you are probably now also an EIE, an Equity Impact Enterprise, and your CBE number may have been updated. But if you go to the CBE database, which is at that link there, you can search yourself and you can find your most recent CBE number. You will not be disqualified if you have the wrong CBE number. It's just going to be really helpful for us to be able to move faster if you have the correct one. If you are not already a DC PTAC client, we are requiring that people be DC PTAC clients in order to take advantage of these services. You can become a DC PTAC client by signing up on the link that is here. It's for a direct sign up. If you sign up to become a DC PTAC client, it is free, and they will reach out in order to provide you with a first meeting with your assigned counselor. We definitely encourage you to be looking more at the DCSEU contracting opportunities and thinking about what it is that you may actually be interested in participating in. And so within that, in the application, we are going to be asking you to say which ones you are interested in. That will help us get a sense of how close in you are and which one of the services might be the best fit service for what you're looking for right now. And then we definitely encourage folks, as I just showed you, to take a look at the the Train Green opportunity. And I'm just going to walk us through all these questions. They're pretty short and straightforward. So we're looking for the first and last name of the contact at the company who's going to be interfacing with us on this. That could be the owner, but that could be someone else within your company. So make sure you let us know their first and last name and their title. Please provide the best email address to reach out. One thing to note, if you're a CBE, there are a lot of CBE email addresses that are in the CBE database that appear to be bouncing back. So you may want to make sure that DSLBD has your most updated information about where we can reach you with this and other opportunities. We're going to be looking for a phone number where we can best reach the person who's going to be interfacing. That way, in case we need to follow up by phone, if we're not getting through by email, we're able to do that. And we're going to ask for the name of your business as it is listed in the CBE database. That again will help us make sure that we can check and make sure that you are a CBE and that you are eligible. And we're going to ask for that CBE certification number. And we're going to ask you to check off which one are your sub designations. You need to have at least one of these, but if you have more, that's great. We're going to ask you to indicate your status of being a DC Procurement Technical Assistance Center client. So you can indicate who your counselor is if you know. If you're not sure who your counselor is, that's fine. If you just registered, that's fine. If you are not yet a client but would like a further assistance becoming a client, that's also fine. And so you can pick whichever one of these fits you best. And then we're going to ask you about your status related to DCSEU. If you are currently a subcontractor with DCSEU, but you are a CBE and a PTAC client, you are available and eligible to receive these services. If you have pursued a contract but was not able to get there, that will help us know that some additional support might be helpful. If you are actively pursuing one now, if you aren't pursuing one but you attended the May rally, and so you're going to check all that apply. If you are actively participating in Train Green, if you've not yet pursued a subcontract but you have a specific one in mind, that's helpful. And if you're just learning and just interested in learning more, that's fine, and please let us know that too. And then we are going to ask you to indicate which specific DCSEU subcontracting opportunity is of the most interest. So you go back to that DCSEU page and explain how additional services would assist you in pursuing that opportunity. This is going to be really helpful if you can give us a strong answer here so that we have a good understanding of how close you are to that contracting opportunity, and so that we have a good understanding also in what services would best assist you. We're going to ask you for that timeline of when you think you're pursuing that subcontract. And so you'll select one of these, whether it's you currently have one, you're applying now, 3 months, 6 months, the next year, 2 years, or you're not sure. And then on that, what you are looking for in referrals, there are a number of questions. Are you looking for a better understanding of the subcontracting opportunities? This is check all that apply. Are you looking for better access to Train Green? Are you looking for stronger proposal development and proposal development support? Are you looking to have a better understanding of what is required out of standard contracts and legal documents? Are you interested in understanding legal compliance with regulatory requirements? And I know I'm reading the full thing out, but I know some of the folks are on the phone, so I'm going to keep reading it out just as is. Support in preparing a proposed budget contract. Support in managing your company finances to be in a position to take on new work. If you are seeking additional capital for bridge financing. If you are looking for support in developing internal contract management systems so that you can perform better on contracts. All of the above, or if it's something additional, you can also write that in. And this will not only help us figure out how to best refer you to services, this will also help us think about, are there other services that we are not providing now, or other services that are outside of CBE Green that we can make sure to connect you to. And then within that, we're going to ask you to rank which one of the 3 pilot services you're most interested in. So you're just going to drag them over. And you can see how I'm dragging them now, and then you can move them around. And so if you aren't interested in one of them, you can leave it behind, or you can just keep reordering them. And that ranking is going to be helpful. If there are additional comments, this is a place where if we didn't ask a question, but you think it's important for us as we think about how to refer and support your business, you can definitely share that here related to CBE Green. And then the last one is just any thoughts that you want to share on your current level of contracting as a CBE overall. And are there other opportunities or support that you're looking at? So 14 is more of a question of support related to these referrals. 15 is a question related to support overall. I'm going to pause here for questions, even though I'm going to go through some more stuff on the screen because I have this open. Camille, are there any questions that have come in the chat that I can address?
I'm scanning right now. It doesn't look so, no.
Okay. If anyone wants to come off of mute and ask any questions right now, that is perfectly fine, and I'm happy to do that.
I just caught one. How do we access the expression of interest form? Can you please provide us the link? And I also posted in the chat.
Okay. And a few other ways you can get the expression of interest form. It is in the chat right now. Anyone who registered for this session received an email from Eventbrite at noon that had a copy of the expression of interest form. We're going to be putting it out. We've given it to all of the PTAC clients, and we're going to be sending out something again later today that has the recording for this and the expression of interest link again. So we are going to be putting it out widely if you haven't received it yet. And if all else fails, please feel free to email us at this email address here, no.ed@dc.gov, and we will get it right over to you. We do not have a deadline, but we will be looking to fill up the spots. And so we do suggest that if you are interested, that you fill out the expression of interest form very soon. Are there additional questions? I'm going to go ahead and go back to Canva. If I can find it. All right, so that was the expression of interest form. This is a short info session, so I don't have a lot more info coming. If you do need to find where your active CBE information is, you can always Google find CBEs. You will get to this page on DSLBD's website, and it's actually got the wrong arrow. It should go down to the Visit the CBE Search portal, and that's what this piece is here. And so just what we'll do when we're checking your CBE certification is we will put your certification number in here where it says certification number and check that. And one of the reasons that we want to highlight this is even though we are DSLBD, we will find you in this system if you are a registered CBE. We do want to make sure that people, when they are applying for contracting opportunities with other spaces, that you're providing that correct number. So we always suggest checking and just keeping an eye on what is listed in the public database. If something is not listed correctly in the public database, whether it's your email address or if it's your certification number or other information, please make sure to reach out to the certification team at DSLBD and get that information updated. So we do have 2 additional information sessions that will be coming out from 2 of the service providers. So let me go back. So coming up, this one is listed on Eventbrite right now, and it is tomorrow, I believe at 5. Manny Cosme from CFO Services Group is going to do a 30-minute information session about what they're going to be providing for that 6 weeks of support for accounting services. So if you want to wait and see just a little bit more information about what that's going to be, they'll have spots for 42 CBEs as they go through that, and they'll be providing that information tomorrow. You can sign up for that on our Eventbrite. Similarly, this isn't quite up yet, but it will be Thursday at 12:30. If you would like to learn more about the proposal management support from Global Insight, that's going to be Thursday at 12:30, and that Eventbrite should be coming out very shortly as soon as we get a last approval. So that is an old slide, and so that is everything. Are there any other further questions that we can answer for folks? Okay. We've got about 5 minutes left, so I will stick around for a few quick minutes, but we'll go ahead and stop the recording now. And if you do not have any other questions, definitely feel free to hop off. I'm going to go back to that first slide that has my email address.